Hello everyone, it's Mark from the Nautical Archaeology Society and we're here in Gosport today. I'm joined by Nick.
Morning.
We're going to be recording this lovely Stockless anchor here at the Hardway on the foreshore of Portsmouth Harbour. So for years, Nick, we've been recording anchors but using pencils and paper. But now, thanks to the Honor Frost Foundation, we can just use a mobile device and we can record them live using the app. Is that cool?
That's really going to be useful. So many times you just see anchors by the side of the quay, by a river, by a dock, and just to be able to record on an app is going to really bring the project forward.
Having found our anchor, having got our mobile device, the first thing to do, of course, is open the app. We can open that and we can see that we can add a new anchor. But before I do that, I've got to try to work out what kind of anchor this is. So if I can use the information button, I can then find out what type of metal anchor this is, and I can see pictures. What does a Stockless anchor look like? And it looks just like one of those. Look at that.
That's definitely a
Stockless anchor. Okay, so that's perfect because now we can choose Stockless anchor and open it up. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is take some pictures, Nick. Simple job. All we're going to do is connect the app to our phone camera and open camera and take some photos. Okay, Nick, so the first picture we're going to take, I think, is of the entire thing, so all in one frame. We're then going to use that photo, and what it will do is it will show it for us. We can then give it a description, type of image, general view of entire anchor. Happy with that?
Yep, it's really good having those drop-down boxes.
I can then add in a description to say view from east, so we're from the east, we're looking west, and then I can upload it. Happy with that?
That's okay.
Press next. Okay, we can take other pictures if we want, so we can take other pictures of details, we can add more photographs, so we can, let's take another picture, and let's take some pictures of the shapes of the flukes. Those are quite distinctive, those could be quite identifiable in terms of who made it. Do you want to take a picture?
Yep.
There you go.
So I'll try and get in fairly close and just take the fluke, nothing else on this one.
Yep.
It's looking good. What do you think, Mark?
Perfect. Okay, so we can use that, and from the drop down menu we can then say detailed view of part of anchor, and we can say fluke close up. Okay, happy with that?
That's looking good.
Okay, we can then do another one. So let's take a picture of the top where the shackle is at the very top and where the chain's coming down, because again that could be quite distinctive. So again we just open camera, get the whole thing in a single frame, and I can use the photograph. Use photo, and now we've got a detailed view, and there we can put in shackle and chain. Okay,
That's looking good.
okay.
Mark, shall we take a photograph of the bottom of the anchor? It's got some really interesting marks on it, and also the shape of what they call the tipping spade is really distinctive of Stockless anchors.
Absolutely, let's do that. It'd be really great to be able to document that detail on this one.
That's looking good, Mark. You've got the marks really clearly there.
Okay, let's take photo. We'll use that one, and we'll call that detailed view and base of tipping spade, including markings. And what are the markings?
It looks like a 20 and AX.
20, so 20, and then a capital A.
And a capital X.
And a capital X, it does, yeah. Interesting. Okay, that was that one done. Let's finish off then by taking one of the shape of the tipping spade from above, because that's, I think, going to be the best angle. Okay, I'm going to take it from there, Nick. I think that gets the shape.
That looks a good angle.
It's quite distinctive, isn't it?
It is.
I'll just type in tipping spade shape from above. That looks good. So the next thing, Nick, we can do is add the location of the anchor. In the app it's simple because we go choose current location, and using the geolocation in your phone, you're done. The latitude longitude updates, we can move on.
That's so easy. Brilliant.
We can now add more information about this anchor, this particular anchor. So first of all, we can add context and status. Is it on a wreck site? Is it in a museum? Is it on land? Etc, etc. So this one's on land, not associated with a museum. It's on display. Name of site. Well, it's not on a named site. There's no plaque here that tells us what ship this came from. So we don't know that one. And then we've got brief description of location. So we can put on display in public garden at Hardway Gosport. I think that's a pretty good description. Then we've also got, it asks us some questions here about letters and markings again, so we know that 20AX. Is there anything else on this one, Nick?
It's got some interesting markings on the actual shank.
There are, so we could use those if we can understand any of them. What can you read?
I can certainly read 21.
There's a
That's
21.
it.
Okay, let's add 21 stamped on shank. Okay, and then we've got, is there a gravity band? So, you know, a gravity band is a clasp that goes around this part that you could use to hang the anchor on when it's on the side of a ship. We don't have one of those. Nope, no gravity band. Is there a shackle? Yes, we have a shackle, definitely a shackle. So now we're on to shackle type. What type of shackle is that then, Nick?
Looking at the shape of it, I'd definitely say that's a crown shape.
Excellent, so we've got crown, bow or ring, so we'll go for crown. And then we've then got the chain link type. So the type of chain link, we've got either twisted, studless or studded.
Well, looking at that bit going across the middle, I'd say that's definitely studded.
I would agree, we have a studded chain. And then the last question is what type of anchor this is, whether it's a type 1, type 2, type 3. So there are 3 distinctive shapes on the website that shows you which type of anchor this is, and we're definitely going for type 1. The next bit of information we're being asked about is the weight of the anchor. So that's either going to be stamped on it or it's going to be on a plaque. So do we have any markings that might indicate weight?
It's quite hard to see, but I'd say this says 35CWT, 3500 weight, which makes this about 1.7 tons. So what's next, Mark?
The next part of the process is just adding our details, who we are as the recorders, so recorded by, so we put Mark, BT Edwards, and Nick Reed, the name of who we are, so we'll put Nautical Archaeology Society or NAS, and the date, so we just put today's date.
Should we do some measuring now then, Mark?
Absolutely, the final step in the process. Let's add some measurements. So what have we got? You've got a tape measure.
I've got a little tape measure which I keep with me all the time.
Excellent, always have one in the car. Okay, so the first thing it wants us to record is the length of the shank. So the shank being this tall bit up here. Shall I go high, you go low?
Sounds good to me. Happy with that?
Yeah, I'm at the top.
Right, I'm down at the bottom and I have 200 centimetres, 2 metres.
So the width at the top of the shank, Nick, up here.
That sounds good. I'd say 20 centimetres, Mark. And that looks like 20 centimetres again, Mark.
And the width at the bottom of the shank?
I'd make that slightly less at 19 centimetres, Mark.
19. We just carry on, Nick, measuring whatever it asks us to measure, whether it's the shackle, whether it's the tipping spade, and then we're going to press submit. So we can then submit our anchor to the database and it goes live up into the cloud and is ready for moderation.